to Orb Plus. Welcome back, welcome back, welcome back. Let's take a look at some stuffs. Wow, we were so wrong about this trade right here. It just kept going higher. So I recently dipped back down into this here, but I think the idea was right. We are in a downtrend, and this was just to create a lower high. So now we're in retrace back down. This was a pullback over the span of one session. So it makes sense just a little bit. I'm pretty sure we can see a little bit more clearly on the 4 hour. Yeah. We broke structure temporarily, created a higher high compared to all this, but from this break of structure onward, downtrend. What does the day say? Day says we're in a downtrend too. This low breaks below this low here. So we're in a downtrend on the 4 hour and the daily. The hour says we're also in a downtrend. So I'm thinking we'll stick with that just for now. From the hour, we need to trash all of what was there and set up today's setup. Cool. All right. From here, POC1. Okay, gold. So we have our points of control. We're going to zoom way the flip in. Actually, no, we're going to stay on the hour because we got to do this first. Okay. We broke structure here below this low. Wow, that is a distance too. Okay. So from the top of this here on down to this right here, we have an imbalance. This imbalance presents us with possibility. Either A, price comes up, hits a level, goes back down, retests, and continues to drop, or we'll just see it continue to drop, in which case we can enter on that imbalance. The 5 minute is going to say something a little bit different though. max on the 5 minute per the hour, right? We had to break structure above this, and our imbalance is right here. So we're looking for one thing. After the break of structure up here that initially caused this, so right here, right? We're looking for the high it makes after this imbalance. So this high here. That high has to get retested and failed. And from that, because this is so close to it, we should see this envelop this gap here, this imbalance, and continue lower. That's current working theory. Because we're so close to having that become a thing, I mean, this level was tested after this imbalance, I want to wait and see. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pause the video. I'm going to unpause when it has moved beyond that imbalance on the bottom. Be right back. Okay, so as you can see, price is moving up on the 5 minute. We're going to go there. Boom. You can see from this imbalance that we had marked, price came down, created a low, came down again. Said it doesn't care and continued higher. It disrespected this high here, and as a result, didn't get a trade going on that. And I think that's kind of what I was looking for, right, on the lower time frame, because this imbalance was going into an uptrend. We were looking for price to create two lows and for it to break above these two highs. But the ultimate trend we were hunting is the high time frames trend going down. We wanted to see it fail the high and continue lower, but instead of it doing that, it decided to go higher. So, yeah. For now, with this. Next available high is right up here. Based on price action, based on where it is right now. I recognize that we're in retrace and price could continue higher towards the point of control up here. I get that part. I also think after it hits this level here, it'll continue lower. Why? Because of this huge amount of time where price was constantly in an uptrend, all the way up, even to right here, right? It was only recently, within Asian session, that it started to retrace back down, and we see it moving lower. But this, from this move here down, doesn't encompass all of this move up. So, for the length of time this right here was alive, we gotta wait for this right here to conclude its move. That includes this retrace. So once it's retraced out of the range it's in now, it'll sweep the highs and then continue lower, potentially. That's the thought, anyway. I could be wrong about that. That's the thought. We got 49 minutes for that next candle to close, the one that's currently formed right here. It's just a matter of waiting for it to do its thing. Us getting a trade. I honestly, today's one of those days where I'm like, I don't want to trade. Not because the setup is non-existent, but because I've seen so little consistency. This is a near random walk market. I'm not supposed to expect consistency. I'm supposed to expect a setup, a pass or a fail, and a continuance from that result. The only consistent part is me taking trades when and when I shouldn't. just thinking. I'll pause the video and really think about this because, yeah, I don't know if I want to trade today. One moment. Okay, so we're at market open now. I think it's going to be a minute. Man, what was that statement? We're in market open. 1 hour. Boom. Do we have any fair value gaps? Right there. From this high right here, we go to 5 minute. Boom. CML was tested, moved down. Where do I think it's going to go based on the setup? I think it's going to continue moving down. How far down? No idea. But at the same time, we also got to take into consideration where volume is and where the MACD is. MACD is in the dumps. We are far below the EMA, and the most amount of volume from London session is just above where price was a second ago. Price came and tested this level 3 times, and it's dropped lower. So I think it's going to continue lower. But we don't have a fair value gap except for this little dude right here. It was only tested once. We have a fair value gap right here. And this was where the SMA crossed in below the EMA. And as a result, price continued lower. I have a perplexing problem. Because my strategy calls for a fair value gap that has not been filled yet to be present, so we can use it to observe when a level is tested. We need a fair value gap. Fair value gaps are the first indication outside of the breakout of a balance area, of an imbalance area. The imbalance area tells us, hey, we're moving away from this consolidation balance area move, right? And we're moving to find either price discovery or price rediscovery. Well, per the strategy I'm working with, we need a fair value gap. First one was right here, and this level was tested twice on the lower time frame. We missed out on an opportunity to enter here because on the 5 minute, this level was retested before market open. So we now need to find an option, an open slot to enter in our window. Because I do not want to trade before and I do not want to trade after. I want to trade during this window. Does this limit my options? I'm beginning to think yes, it does. I am very much so beginning to think it does. What am I going to do about this? What am I going to do to change this? I don't think I want to change it. because it gives me part of a greater parameter whole without knowing where to stop. How do I stop? 1030 gives me a good reference point. Around 1030 is where I should not be considering to trade. Why? Because all of the volume at that point will have decreased, gone, bye, boom, pow, out of the way. No longer of use to me. I can't take a trade where there's going to be so little volume, so little movement. I'm not going to get anything from it because by the time volume does get reintroduced, it's already picked a different direction. Understand? Just a little bit. So, first things first, high time frame fair value gap is my first thought to think of. My first go-to instinct. We have a fair value gap here. Sure, but it was filled. Tested, pushed low. This move is done. Why is it done exactly? Because price has, since this move, created a low and a high. This low and high is then accompanied by a point of control. That point of control on the 5 minute, we'll go back up to the hour just so we can analyze that again, because it'll match the same. From London to New York Stock Exchange, the point of control is down. It's right with the volume. The most volume, high volume node, boom, right there. Point of control, boom. I could drag this up. I could probably swap these two and it'd be correct for this move here. Okay? So it's moved down beyond the PSU2. On open, it looked like it was going to continue lower. We're still below the EMA. MACD says we're below the EMA, but we're in retrace. Retrace was a very small move, literally 4 candles worth. We had a footnote here saying, yeah, we're going to continue lower. Why? Because we had a test of 2 of the same price level. Boom, moved low. Well, it's bottomed out right there. These 2 candles bottomed out. So with this new open, new amount of volume in, and it's a large amount of volume compared to all of this over here, I want to see a fair value gap form. And I want to see it form on the high time frame. I'm treating this as though it's a balance area, and let's go ahead and just do this. Let's go ahead and do this. Boom. There's our point of control right here. And price is dancing around it. So what do I think is going to happen? I think we need a breakout. Why? Because price is consolidated. Volume's high, but it's also been high. I'm sorry. I'm wrong. Volume is low on the high time frame. The likelihood of us seeing a fair value gap is slim on this. So my automatic thought is don't trade. Why? Because the likelihood of seeing one is so slim, the setup isn't there. The strategy isn't there. It can't be applied. And as a result, favors are not there. The favor to trade, the option to trade is unfavorable, undesirable, not good. So I think that's what I'm just going to do. I think, honestly, that is my best option, is to wait for a fair value gap or or for price to go into imbalance. Gosh. I want to see that imbalance pop up. I want to see the fair value gap, and I want to see my strategy come to fruition from the hour to the 5 minute, and then an entry on the 5 to the direction it's going to go. Before that can happen, we need to see either this disrespected, or a move beyond this range with a fair value gap present. That's the only way that works. Current fair value gap is right here. That much is cool. But we've also created a high and low here. This low is crossed beneath, but disrespected, so it's going to continue higher. On the 5 minute, we can even see it there. Price came down, didn't touch this. It actually came real low, but it instead continued higher. Or I'm wrong, and I'm wrong. So it crossed below the low right here. My bad. It crossed both. It crossed this low, specifically, on open. So we need to see an imbalance. We have to see a fair value gap form before we can just continue onward. if I don't see a fair value gap form that's to my liking, I'm not going to bother looking for another. I'm just going to leave trade. I'm not going to bother with it. Either fair value gap forms or I'm not trading. I think I've made that fairly clear. I'm going to go ahead and step aside from this. I'm going to leave it paused right there. I'm not going to move a thing. Right now, here, I'm going to leave this dotted line right there. This is where price has crossed below that low to the left. That dotted line will need to be crossed, and we'll see a fair value gap, or we won't. And yeah, that'll be essentially what happens. BRB. Okay, real quick, out of respect for the high time frame, we have no fair value gap right here. None whatsoever all throughout this move. The last one was like right here, and it was filled. And then this one right here also filled. So, out of respect for that doing its thing, we're going to look at the fair value gap here. We have a high, we have a low. We're looking for one or two to get tested, failed, and then move beyond. Looks like we're failing this one, and we're moving up. And this was the one that was tested. So even per the MACD, we should have entered like right on open, but we didn't because we didn't know if it was going to move higher or not. Sure, it broke structure, but it didn't off the one candle rip past this. It just presented an imbalance. So with that being the case, boom, I don't want to trade. I don't want to. Fresh break doesn't necessarily mean it's going to continue high up above those highs. I'm not going to trade today because I don't think price is going to sweep beyond my target profit, which would be all the way up here, this high right here. I don't think it will. And if it does, it'll be a quick return. As soon as it does up above this, it'll fly right back down. This is the high time frame. Each one of these candles is a whole hour of candles comprised into one. The general move was up for the most part. We broke structure right there and continued downward for a small retrace. Are we in an uptrend? I'm going to say yes on the daily, the weekly, what have you, because this whole move in a day broke structure from this right here. So we're in an uptrend on the high time frames. 4 hour, 1 hour is in parallel. We're going to move up. How high is it going to move? Don't know, but I do know that if it hits this high, it's going to retrace back down into this area. If anything, it'll actually create a consolidation move. It'll keep going right instead of up or down. I'm not going to trade today because I want to see what it does. I'm going to end the video. Yeah, I'm going to end the video. Next video, tomorrow, when I wake up and I record, I'm going to post the video with a beforehand gist. Like, I'm going to leave this right where it is on the screen, right? You see it, boom. The next video is going to have this exact same screen when we first start recording, and from there, we'll see exactly what price did today. And yeah, from there, we're going to make a educated guess on what price is going to do based on what it's done in the past. Okay? Okay. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. I know we didn't trade. I know it seems kind of useless to do this kind of thing, but I always find it better to observe than to lose. or to get a bad case of the FOMO. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. I'll see you guys in the next video, okay? Peace.